Well, another stumbling block. I found a couple wiring issues. One, this connector has a damaged wire inside of it, right here, this brown and yellow. It's hanging on by a thread at the connector, right there. And then the socket side is all distorted, so I don't know what happened to it. I'll claim it was like that when I got it. This was all wrapped with electrical tape, and it was all dried and crunchy, so I took that off and I was gonna put fresh tape on it. But I've run into an issue there. I might be able to buy one of these sockets. I think these are just like Delphi Series 56 connectors, so I gotta look around for that. And then another thing I found was this is just a ground wire here. It is chafed right here. It is chafed through, rubbing somewhere, probably against here. I think it was up here like that. I think it was tied up here at one time. I can't remember. I'll have to go back through my videos. And it's also chafed and almost worn through right here. That's a pretty easy fix. I've got black wire. I think what I'll do is I'll cut it right there, put a couple new pieces and a new eyelet right here, and I've got all that stuff. That's pretty easy to fix. But even though it is just a ground, I'd like to get it fixed right. Good grounds are crucial to a good electrical circuit. But this wiring issue, I'm a little bit concerned about that one. So I'll have to do some digging before I get this put on. So hit the brakes. Thought I was making progress. Okay, mystery solved. While I was fiddling with it, this wire just broke right off. It was held on by a strand. And then the socket that was inside this connector just pushed right out. And what it is it's a botched repair. Somebody had to fix this at one time. This is not the correct socket for this connector. Somebody had to make do, had to repair something. I don't know why, but the good news is these connectors come right out pretty easy. And I think I can get a new set. I just take my super tiny electronic screwdriver. It's from a little kit. Push down the tab that's inside the connector, and then it comes right out. And I could see right away this is not the right connector. Doesn't appear to be anyway. Yeah, there's no tab on it. Somebody had to repair it. But this is just a little Delphi 56 connector. I've got some of these, but they're a larger size, so I might have to go get online, get on the interweb, and find a new one, and then crimp it on, and it should be good. Okay, fast forward a few days, and I got some parts that I think will work. So here is the ruined or botched repair on the connector. And what I found is what this is a 2.8 millimeter spade with a retaining tab right there, so that when it slides into the plastic connector, it'll click and lock in there. And I could find these, but I had to buy them in a pack of 100, and I didn't want to do that. I just needed one. But I did find this little kit on Scamazon that had 3 different sizes of spade connectors, including the 2.8 millimeter. And it doesn't have the retaining tab right there. It's smooth, but I think it'll still work. I think it'll still fit into the connector okay, and it'll probably stay there just fine. And the corresponding half on the tractor is the spade like this. So I just did a test fit here, and it fits pretty tight. So I would imagine on the tractor side it should fit tight as well, so it should be okay. Just a matter of stripping back this wire and then getting this crimped on. So we'll give it a shot here. First I'll cut it off real clean. And let's see, I want to strip back, not much, maybe 3/16 of an inch or so. So this terminal has 2 parts to it. So there's the crimp right there where the bare wire will go, and then there's a larger piece right here that will crimp onto the insulation. And it'll look kind of like that. So to crimp this on, I'm gonna put this guy in the crimpers first. I think that'll fit just fine. Yep. I got a few shots at this, but not too many. That crimp looks pretty nice. It's not very, no, it's not very tight. I'll try to get it tighter. Well, I've done worse. It's okay. I think it'll work. And now the larger part will probably crimp just fine. Yeah, there we go. That's not bad at all. So I will click this back in here. I think it'll fit okay. Now once this is in here and taped up, and then it's connected on the tractor with the male portion in here, I think it'll be just fine. I'm going to attempt to repair this ground wire. So I've got a couple pieces of black ground wire. These are two different gauges, and I happen to have two different gauges. So I'm just going to match the gauges the best I can. I'm going to crimp an eyelet on here, heat shrink it, and then I will cut and splice it onto here. I'll put some heat shrink tubing over this. The heat shrink tubing I use is a double wall. It's got a glue in it, so when you heat it up, it'll kind of melt together and creates a good seal. I think it's a marine grade type of heat shrink tubing. That looks quite a bit better. I figured out where these ground wires are rubbing. They actually come under the starter and attach right here. And they were rubbing right against the case of the starter. Actually, you can see the wear marks on there from them. Just like that. So I'm going to make the new ones a little longer so they don't lay against this starter. And I'm also going to wrap them in some of this plastic conduit stuff. And that should hopefully protect them. There's quite a bit of heat right here from, well, one, the engine, two, the exhaust is right here too. So hopefully it'll be okay. I mean, I think it will. This is pretty heavy duty. But I'll give it a shot. You know, with this stuff, when it gets hot, sometimes it kind of shrinks to the wire. It might droop a little bit, but I think it'll be okay. Hopefully I got enough sleeve here. I had to cut it short so I had enough room to work. Well, that's quite a bit better. I got good sheathing right here to protect it, and I can make that connection right here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. A lot of these connections are loose, so I got to go ahead and tighten those up, and then I'll move on to this mess. Okay, I've gone ahead and finished my repair on this control box. So what I ended up having to do was I got the new spade connector in, but it didn't want to stay retained in there very well because the wire had to be clipped short, and all these longer wires were just pulling it back out of the socket. So I shoved it in there the best I could, zip tied it in place. That held it pretty well, and then I clipped the joint together and wrapped it with tape. And I've pulled this apart a couple times and checked it, and the socket is right where it needs to be, and I'm pretty sure it's making a good connection. So now I can finish assembling this. I just got to find the screws to mount it back to the engine, and that'll be good. Slowly getting there, one thread at a time. This is painful. Well, finally got that guy on there. Got to get the top one tight, but now I can use this driver here. And that's super easy. Oh yeah, it's good.